Hello, Cheap Ari here. Want to run around like Rambo with a custom Lightgun Arcade? I highly recommend, in terms of trying to get an affordable option, contacting Retro Lizard's Custom Arcades to hook you up. Affordable and available options in the market for Lightgun Arcades are few and far between. I contacted Retro Lizard's Custom Arcades to set me up with kind of setting up software on a PC, along with purchasing some of my own guns online, like the Sinden light gun that has compatibility with this software. On this video, I'll do a brief introduction as to some of the pros and cons with going this approach to get your own light gun custom arcade, but I highly recommend overall that this is a better option than choosing some of the arcade 1-up or other available options that are just commercially available on the market. Joel at RetroLizardsCustomArcades.com is able to kind of just set up multiple options available to you based on your price point and need. For the scenario that's in this video, I'll show that I chose the option to purchase a new PC along with shipping Joel some of the guns that I just showed you, the Sinden light guns, to have that software programmed to the guns and be calibrated to a list of games that is launched through the LaunchBot system. So without further ado, I'll kind of explain the process step by step. So the first available option to you is to purchase one of these 512 external solid-state drives from Retro Lizard's Custom Arcades, and this contains over 220 games from the 80s to today. And this solid-state drive, if you have an existing Windows 10 PC with 8 gigabytes of RAM and an NVIDIA 1050 card at a minimum or higher, you should be able to purchase this solid-state drive and plug it into your computer. You will be responsible for, of course, purchasing the guns yourself and the software configuration for those guns. Now, Joel can also dial in and assist with some minor configuration, but a majority of this is manually done by yourself. This runs at starting $155 for the solid-state drive, and again, requires an existing PC with those minimum specs. Now, this is the most affordable option. However, I chose, since my computer is pretty old and used for more business applications like doing my taxes or working on some personal documents, I decided to purchase a PC from Retro Lizards Custom Arcades, and this is a Ryzen 5 minimum PC, and they've got a number of different options here available, but pretty much you purchase the PC and Joel will go ahead and configure that. You have to ship your choice guns to him so he can do the software installs and do all or majority of the configuration from his workplace. He then will ship you the PC along with the guns that you purchased and shipped over to him, and do some final remoting in to your PC and be able to kind of figure out or finish that configuration setup. This is the option that I chose. This runs at about $1,100 for the PC. Now, the guns that I chose, as I stated, are the Sinden light guns. Those run at about $104 each. I purchased 2 of them. And of course, Joel was able to do the most of the software installs and configuration himself before shipping it back and kind of completing the process with me remotely upon receipt of those items. Now, this is all really meant for working primarily with the Gun 4 IR, and that is really kind of the sweet spot for making everything work without any challenges. But Gun 4 IR is a very expensive light gun on the market, and I chose the more affordable Sinden light guns, which might present other challenges, but is still a great gun to use. Whatever option you choose, you get a number of launchers available with 220 plus games, again, coming from the 80s to today, available across different systems like the Wii, the Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, the Super Nintendo, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox, and a lot of these are 2-player compatible. Now, the software that is installed, it requires instances of softwares to be activated for both guns. And again, while this is meant more for the Gun 4 IR, it still works with the Sinden light guns. Now, again, there's plenty of options available, and these work great. I think this is an incredible option to be able to really experience everything from your childhood to games that you may have never played in arcades. So you want to play some of the newer Time Crisis games? They're on here. If you want to play some of the older Time Crisis games, they're on here too. You want to play Virtual Cop? It's there. All your favorites are here, and it's a great time playing it. And as you can see from some of the gameplay here, if you press the button on the light gun itself, it will initiate kind of that frame on the computer that initiates that the crosshairs can now work with the game, and it's smooth sailing from there. The gun connects seamlessly to your screen and plays great. Very few of the games did I have any challenges, and I'll identify that in some of the cons later in the video. But as you can see here, great fun, everything works great, and these are awesome games. So what all this cost? As stated, it's $1,100 for the PC, and that includes everything from Joel being able to purchase the Ryzen PC for you, do most of the configuration on his own end before shipping it back and remoting into that PC to finish off the configuration. Now, at the $104 per sinden light gun, that's another $200 plus for the guns themselves. So overall, you're looking at between $1,300 to $1,400. Given if you have to purchase, of course, any additional accessories for that PC, like a keyboard and mouse. But still, it is giving you 220 plus games from the 80s to today of all your favorite games. And that is a great and impressive selection in comparison to paying plus $800 for an arcade one-up that may include maybe 3 games at most. So this is definitely an option that you can pursue, especially if you want to be able to play some of your favorite light gun games. So what are some of the cons here? Now, the sinden light gun is not kind of the primary choice that you want to do for setting this kind of PC up. It's really meant for gun 4IR, and that's kind of the creme de la creme of light guns out there on the market. Those are about $275 each, if not more. And the more affordable sinden light gun still works great, but there's going to be potentially some issues. Now, I've tried this on a number of different monitors, and some have turned out great. Some have not been so great in terms of providing a glare that impacts how the gun kind of traces on the screen. So I kind of hit a sweet spot in using a 22-inch monitor, and that seems to work great for being able to play these games for the most part, and being able to kind of track the guns without any issues. But again, I emphasize that even some of your HD monitors or some of your screens that are 30 inches plus might present some issues, and it's just probably in relation to choosing the sinden light gun. That's not an exact science. And being able to use these guns on the PC. It's meant more for gun 4IR, but again, as long as you have that trial and error worked out, you still have an excellent experience with these more affordable options for your light guns. 2 other issues I ran into were with respect to kind of calibration of the gun. So for games like Vampire Knight on PlayStation 2 and Time Crisis on the PlayStation 1, which is Project Titan, those 2 games, no matter what I did, never seemed to quite calibrate the gun for me to be really able to play the game in any capacity. So the cursor was always off by a bit, as you can see here, and I just couldn't quite get it to match correctly, making these games fairly unplayable. But again, I was only experiencing this on 2 of those games. That is, again, Time Crisis Project Titan and Vampire Knight on the PlayStation 2. The other con I saw, at least for the time being, is that for the Techno-Parrot games, these are games that are either Windows-based or arcade systems that are Linux-based. 2 of the games are behind a subscription paywall and not accessible without paying that fee. And those 2 games are currently Terminator Salvation and Aliens Armageddon. It is anticipated that those games will be free to play at some point in the near future, but at least for the time being, they are behind a paywall. Otherwise, even with not having Aliens Armageddon right now, you can still play Aliens Infestation, and that's also an awesome game to play. So those cons, not much to worry about. And overall, this is still a great, affordable option given all the aspects and features that you have. This is a great time to play for 2 players and gives you that maximum arcade experience that you're not going to get from a Pandora's box or from an arcade 1-up Time Crisis machine. This is the go-to for me right now. And Retro Lizards Custom Arcades, and specifically Joel, has plenty of options available to you that are even more affordable. This is just the one I chose because I wanted to have kind of the maximum experience with the maximum list of games that goes from my childhood to today. So that does it for me, guys. I'll do a couple of videos on this system, and it's just really something I highly recommend for you to kind of have that arcade experience at home. I'll talk to you guys next time. Please like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.